Imagine being in a hospital and in need of vital medications that can mean the difference between healing and your life hanging in the balance. It's hard to believe in our day and age that this happens, harder still to see how often. There are more than 200 drugs on the FDA's shortage list, many of them life-prolonging and life-saving medications. Studies show shortages of these medications across the country can have adverse economic, clinical, and personally devastating outcomes for patients. The industry has become reliant on overseas manufacturing, in some cases without the benefit of regular FDA inspections and oversight to ensure quality.
The U.S. drug supply is 90% generic, with the majority of those drugs coming from overseas, principally India and China. As well, 80% of the active ingredients in all our drugs, whether brand or generic, also come from overseas, the bulk of those from China and India. It is crucial to the health and safety of the American public that these drug products are effectively regulated.
A lot of these countries have very lax regulatory and safety standards, where in the US, we have very strict standards. And our FDA keeps people in line, and they do constant inspections. And so that's a big piece of why our drug supply chain in the United States is the gold standard for the world to follow. When you have any shortage or a potential shortage, you have lots of things going on in the marketplace. One, purchasers start to hoard the product. Manufacturers are trying to then figure out where they need to sell the product, and most manufacturers sell through wholesalers and distributors. So that's an opportunity for people to raise prices. So you see these artificial price spikes during shortages.
It was time for someone to step up and transform this broken model. That's where Civica was born.
At Civica, our number one policy in the company, and it guides everything we do, is very simple. It's one line: do what's in the best interest of patients. We have this very compelling mission to provide quality medicines that are affordable and always available to anyone.
The reason why Civica works and is set up to work in the long run is not terribly complicated. It's about transparency and adhering to the values inherent in Civica's mission. Civica was created with the enlistment of hospital systems across the country. They had and still have a desperate need for vital medications on demand.
We need to pay a fair price to the manufacturers that is sustainable for them to continue manufacturing in a guaranteed contract. But we need to have what you would call a fair price for the hospitals, and that's where the transparency comes in. And by doing that, trying to set that sustainable and that fair price, right? That was a big piece of us trying to change that broken economic model.
This 360-degree model is a win for drug manufacturers who didn't want to sell low-volume, low-price drugs, for hospitals so they could serve their patients at a reasonable price, and of course, for patients.
We went to our hospitals, and we have our hospitals participate in what we call Drug Selection Advisory Committee. They give us the priority of the medicines they want us to try to source and bring to market for them. We then find suppliers who either have abandoned the marketplace but still had the appropriate FDA license, or those that were in the marketplace but their market share was really low. And we went back to them and we said, we can give you guaranteed 5-year take or pay contracts if you'll re-enter the marketplace. So that was very favorable to the manufacturer because it eliminates uncertainty. So you know for the next 5 years, you don't have to bid on a contract. You know what the price is you're going to get. You know what your profit margin's going to be. You know how much capacity you need.
With these agreements in place with manufacturers, Civica was then able to set predictive, affordable prices for hospitals and have a ready supply of medicines available. Hospitals who are participating are quickly seeing the difference.
Our ability to secure a medication for everybody, no matter whether you can pay or not, and to be able to then secure the affordability of that medication is fundamental to that patient be able to afford the medication and continue to take that medication.
The largest hospital association in America, they pay the exact same price as a small rural hospital of 10 beds.
So I think that's another important thing that we've been really learning during this pandemic is securing your channels, because you never know what might disrupt, what foreign policies or what foreign disruptions may happen. That they have those secured within the United States is a good feeling.
The final piece of this puzzle is now under construction as we speak. Civica will soon take ownership of this state-of-the-art fill and finish manufacturing facility in Petersburg. Now, in addition to the agreements with manufacturers and hospitals, Civica will be able to expand the choices for patients.
So the first thing that does, it gives us redundancy in manufacturing. So we could make a product, our contract manufacturer could make the same product, we could have a supplier make the product for us. So we have all that opportunity for redundancy. And by adding redundancy to the supply chain, you make it more robust. Currently today, the capacity for sterile injectable products that are essential for hospitals to use every day is very limited and very tight. So we're adding capacity to the entire marketplace so we can bring more products to the market to help our members.
And that means fewer patients will be alone in a hospital wondering whether they can get the vital medications they need to heal.
We're changing the way pharmaceuticals are manufactured and distributed and patients are treated. And it's a real rewarding thing when your customers are telling you you're changing the world.